Welcome to the very first episode of Three's a Charm podcast. My name is Kanaya, and I have with me here today my co host.
Destiny, what's up, cousins?
Nikki, hey cousins.
So we are thrilled to bring you our first episode finally because the girls, we've been outside. We've been outside a little bit, a lot,
sure.
a bit.
A
this
lot.
summer.
Procrastination.
Yeah, but we here. So we're glad to bring you the show and, excited to share the season and the content. So it's going to be given. So yeah. The first thing we want to do is do a quick Q&A for the host. So the first question I have is describe yourself in 3 words.
Well, I think, for me, for sure, my first word would be God fearing because that's just like God is number one in my life for sure. Two, definitely, I'm a Southerner. Even though I'm in this big city, I'm a Southern belle, so I like big yards, have my own parking spot because up here in New York, you don't get your own parking spot, so that's one thing. And paying all these tolls, so definitely, I am a Southerner living in this
Isn't
big
it
city.
crazy? We have to pay to drive.
Exactly,
on
paying
the
to drive, like
roads
literally
that we pay taxes for.
right. Shoot, I've only been here for a year, so I mean I don't even have to like pay taxes for real, but I still gotta pay the tolls though, like no, but seriously, like, being a southerner in the city has been an adventure, but that's definitely like the first thing you're gonna notice about me is I'm a southerner, and then that last word would be outgoing and like an extrovert. So I feed off of energy. So I like being around people. I don't want to say a people pleaser because I'm not a people pleaser, but I like the energy that people give off when they're, high vibes, high energy, things like that. So,
And we love a Southern woman.
yes.
And Nikki, she's from the North, but we love North too.
I'm not from the North. I am a Midwestern Barbie.
Oh, man.
That's part of my
My bad.
words. Midwest,
Mhm.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Mhm.
I will reference Cincinnati in every episode because I just will. I'll say I am funny, comic relief type character, witty, thicky Nicky. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
But
she's not kidding.
yeah, I'll say those are my witty, funny, Midwestern Barbie. 4 words.
Heavy on the Midwestern Barbie.
Okay. And I would say mine, funny, sarcastic. I love a good laugh. I love a joke. So I think you'll see that throughout the episodes, throughout the season. We're going to have a good time. So I would say funny, very observant. Some may say nosy, but I would say observant.
I'm
and
nosy
then
too.
No, you gotta be.
so
You have to
there.
be. You wouldn't be in us if we wasn't. No.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think lastly, Miss always got something to say.
Same.
So I feel like I'm kind of blunt. Sometimes I just need to not say something, but I always got something to say. So we gonna hear it. And
Exactly.
everybody else gonna hear it. So
Same.
yeah. So now that you know a little bit about us, let's talk about our journey here, starting the podcast and like what does it mean to, be a part of it.
So, I don't know. When you asked me if I wanted to be a part, at first I was nervous because I was like, damn, everyone has a podcast these days. What's going to make it like different than anything? But I also like to talk shit. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. We were like outside a lot this summer. So like planning like every week, I was like, okay, like when we kept meeting, I was like, okay, this is actually gonna happen. Cause you know how sometimes you plan something out and then after a few months you're like, you know what?
Black people.
Actually, we're not gonna do it. So I was like, it kept me on my toes to like actually like believe it'll be real. Cause like at some points I was like, wait, I hope they forget to say we're meeting this weekend because I'm scared.
And here I am on Friday. Are y'all still free to
Literally.
meet on Saturday at 11 o'clock?
So it really was like a journey. What the idea was it like April, May?
Yeah, I
It's
think we said like May, June.
Yeah,
Like
for the
early
first.
summer.
Yeah, we were
Definitely
gonna
not.
do film in June and we were all like away. So it's been a long time coming, but we're coming
sure.
at the start of a very exciting football season. So
Yeah. I would agree. I think like the journey to start. It's been something that I wanted to do for the past 3 to 4 years.
oh,
So
You ain't
it's
tell us
kind of
that
been in
part.
my journal.
Yeah.
It's been in my journal, tucked away.
Mhm.
And this year I kind of just wanted to, show up for myself, do the things that I said I wanted to do. And, everything aligned, the perfect people, the perfect place. We're in New York. Like, yeah,
Everything
like
felt
we're here. So I think everything aligned at the perfect time. And, even the planning process, it's been a long time coming, been a journey, but I think we're starting at the perfect time. So,
yeah,
yeah,
for
I
sure.
think it's great.
And for me, like when you definitely like reached out or like put it like you had this idea of having a podcast. I'm a girl's girl, so I'm always gonna be for whatever the girls are for. So I'm like, heck yeah, and I'm
Right.
like, shoot, we had never like met officially, but like me and Kanai are from the same place,
Right.
so I was like, definitely because one, we come from a small town, like where we're from, like it's really small. So like us being in New York was a perfect opportunity to, kind of broaden our experiences, but also show that you can come from a small place and build something big and
Right.
still have that support from back home. But I think for me it's just I'm just a girl's girl, so I definitely like enjoy like us meeting up and planning this and actually executing it. So it has been a great journey and just being like a part of the sports industry now, and always being a part of or having a passion for sports and black culture and music. Like it's like it's prevalent to have like a black cast,
Right.
a black podcast, even though everyone else
Black
is doing
women
it.
especially.
Exactly, black women especially. So I think like it's definitely the time to do it, and I think we did it at the right time. So yeah.
Wait, I actually have a question.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How did you decide, because you are the brains behind this operation, how did you decide like you were gonna pick us? It feels like.
Yeah, so I think I came up with like the idea, okay, I'm gonna start a podcast this year. My cousin was my accountability partner. We talked about it, and my whole idea was like, I want 3 people. I want 3 people. I said that even though it sounded then, I started making a list and I'm like, I don't know, I can barely come up with 3 people
Exactly, it's a
that
little
like
skimp.
sports, like music, like culture, that I think, they live in New York, that I think our schedules would align. So kind of had a little, I guess, bump in the road with that whole idea.
Mhm.
But, I was like, I'm just going to put it out there, see who's interested.
Right.
And I know you reached out and I was
Mhm.
like, okay, like we talked. I'm like, yeah, we're from like the same
Same.
city.
Mhm.
Like you're into sports, I'm into sports. So this would be perfect. And I'm like, okay, well, I still need 3 people.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, me and Nikki, we always talk about sports. And like, we'll be out and people are like, are y'all talking about sports? Like,
Oh,
Almost like
that
people can't
man on
believe
the
it. Yeah,
train.
like
Yeah, no, that man on the train, I was like, whoa.
Right. So I'm like, okay, we might got something. So, and we're also roommates. So I feel like, there's already a foundation there. So I felt like Nikki would be the perfect person as well. So we brought everyone together, had our first meeting, and honestly, I don't think you could really tell we hadn't met each other
right.
because like we were talking,
Hit it off.
kikiing, like, and every meeting since then, I feel like we've just had like authentic conversations.
Mhm.
Like we're gonna laugh, we're gonna have a time.
No,
So I just
seriously.
feel like bringing these like moments and conversations just to the camera, I think that's perfect. Perfect people, perfect place. So
Three's
I'm
a charm.
excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 is a charm. 3 is a charm.
So yeah, now that we have, a little bit of background, let's talk about like a TV show. So if you had, I guess, one TV show you would say that you would, I guess, like to live in, which one would it be and why?
Off the jump, like my brain goes to Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but in my time, I
Mm-hmm.
think I would either say Grownish, which is like the spinoff of
Ooh, I
Blackish,
love Grownish.
because Zoe Johnson was the girl.
That
Like
girl.
she, like the Grownish, of course, is like the spinoff of Blackish, but it's
Right.
describing how Zoe she goes off to college and when you go to college, how things can be, things don't go your way always. So it's like her going through this journey, and then like you have Trevor Jackson up there, Diggy, all
Mm-hmm.
these different
Diggy.
exactly. Da
Girl.
Vinci, like these are people, like these are
Yeah.
fine men. So I'm like,
Yeah.
growing up, I'm like,
That's a good
this
college
is how
experience.
exactly like this is how college is gonna be. Like, I definitely want that to be me. And like,
Right.
um, Grownish, it's just like it just taught me like a lot of lessons and just like especially about guys for because like
Right.
Zoe, she had like 3 different guys, but
Yeah.
it definitely like taught me lessons. So I think if I had to spin or be like in a TV show, it would probably be Grownish, and I would have to be Zoe. Or I mean, like she had the twins too,
Right.
Hallie and Chloe. They were Star
Right.
and
The Bailey.
I mean
Yeah.
Sky and
Mhm.
so
I can see that. I love that show as well. And I would say for me, I would say Martin. Like I love 2000s. Like I
Mm.
love the 2000s fashion. I love the community. Like I love the jokes because I love to laugh. Like if I was in that show, yeah, I would have a time. Like yeah,
Martin was
Miss
always.
Pam.
You be Pam?
I say so.
You be Pam?
Cause like I'm gonna crack a joke. Like
Can't-
you're not like Martin. He was kind of
Yeah.
going in, but Pam,
Pam didn't
she
take no-
was she
yeah.
wasn't taking it. And I think that's me. Like Gina, she kind of like laid back. She kind of, like no. Pam is me. Like we about to crack some jokes.
Something to
like,
say,
we
like
about to
you
have something
said.
to say
She always got
back.
something
Miss
to
always
say.
got something to
Right.
say in full effect.
Well, I'm gonna veer from these two very wholesome answers and
Okay.
say the Bad Girls Club.
Oh, will.
I
Hey.
feel like I grew up watching so much reality TV,
Mhm.
like Flavor of Love, The Real World, The Jersey Shore, Bad Girls Club. And like, I don't know, I used to always just imagine, even like Real Housewives of like Atlanta, like I used to always envision myself in a confessional, like preparing my arguments, like how I would be. It's just so entertaining. Like reality TV is like so trash, but it's like so engaging because like something's always like happening.
Yeah.
And I like that factor. Not baddies, because I don't know
Yeah, but they on a
what's
different
happening
level.
with baddies now, but like Bad Girls
Mhm.
Club, like when I was like 12, I was like, I hope this show is still on in 10 years so I can make my mark. But yeah, I would say that. I think it would be fun. I would want to be, what season would I want to be on? I think I would be on Natalie's season.
Who would
Okay.
you?
Or-
How would you act?
I feel like I would be myself, like still like laid back,
Mhm.
kind of snarky. I feel like, I don't know, I hate to like do the zodiac thing, but I feel like I'm like Gemini, so I feel like you're easy to like assimilate a little bit.
Mhm.
But I feel like people wouldn't like me because they'll be like, oh, she's like so fake. Like
Yeah.
she's on their side. She's on their side. But I'm like, okay, y'all was wrong yesterday. Y'all right today.
So you on the side of right,
Exactly.
right and wrong.
Neutral.
You're not about to play sides.
No, I don't
Okay,
play sides
okay,
at
okay.
all.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a fun. That's
Yeah.
That
a
would
good
be
answer.
fun.
Yeah.
No, for real.
So yeah, so we have that, and then so theme songs for our life.
Well, the theme song I would put for my life would be "Masterpiece" by Jasmine Sullivan.
Mhm.
I mean, it talks about Mona Lisa, but it's really just talking about like how you're perfect. You're a piece of art. Like you're a masterpiece. Like yourself. Like you don't have to do anything extra, do anything to make people believe that you are, because you are the art. And I also have it like tattooed on me. It says masterpiece, master in peace. So
Oh.
that song just resonates with me like a lot, just because just how you have to think about yourself, like as yourself being a piece of art, but as well as being the masterpiece. Like everyone wants to
Right.
be you. Everyone wants to, see what you have to offer. But yeah, it would have to be Jasmine Sullivan's masterpiece for sure.
No, I like that. For me, I would say "Glow" by Drake and Kanye. I feel like
I love that song.
yeah, I feel like life is just like you're always like on a come up. Like you always have obstacles. So it's like, yeah, I'm about to glow. And I feel like honestly this year, like I'm kind of stepping into a lot of things that I probably wanted to before, but now I feel like I am. So I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm here. Like we about to glow. So yeah, I like that song. I feel like it's
Good.
motivational too. So I like it.
My song will be Bad Mama Jamma by Carl Carlton.
Okay.
I don't know why that song like, first of all, I love like 70s, 80s, like
Yeah.
funk music overall. But whenever I play that song, like on my way to work, walking through Times Square, I'm like, she's a bad Mama Jamma. She's stacked.
Hey,
Okay.
hey,
She's ready
describing
to take
you.
on the world. Yes.
Period. That's kind of like how you have to be like in New York for. You have to have
Oh,
that
no,
perfect
yeah.
playlist for real, for real.
Main
only
character
you.
syndrome.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I freaking love that song so much.
that's a good song. I definitely didn't think going back that far.
Right.
But it
No,
has
that's
some
a
good
good one
music.
though. That's a good one.
And follow up Sexy MF by Prince. Because Prince be talking that.
Yeah, he do. My mama like Prince. My mama loves some Purple
See, I don't think
Rain.
I've heard that. Like I've heard like the main Prince songs, but like I've not
Mhm.
really, I haven't really heard.
Prince he has so many albums, but he has like a lot of like deep deep
Meaning.
cuts. Yeah,
Mhm.
like you
Prince.
gotta like go through because like I'm still a Michael Jackson over Prince person,
hmm
but I will give credit where credit is due.
Yeah. Prince definitely he had a life.
Yeah.
So
My grandpa is a big Prince fan, so
Yeah.
he be playing them songs. But I'm like, okay, I hear it, but I ain't going back and listen to it. But I hear it. I hear it. we love a Goldie. So
Right.
yeah.
It has
So
a
now that
function.
we know a little bit about all our co-hosts, I think we talked about like our journeys, a little bit about us. Now
Mhm.
let's get into the topic. So let's talk about our top 5 summer jams. And let me just preface with summer jams, not song of the summer. So we're not saying this is the song of the summer. We're saying this is what we're listening to. So
Mhm.
let's get into it.
So my songs, 5 songs. Get Your Mind Right by Jeezy. Love Jeezy. It reminds me of how I used to ride in the back of my dad's Trailblazer and he would blast Young Jeezy.
Jeezy.
I said get money.
Nah.
No, for real, it literally makes that thug motivation. Like it literally makes you want to get to the bag.
Right.
So Young Jeezy, definitely that song. I feel like Going On by the Five Heartbeats when I'm in my Sunday gospel bag because the Five Heartbeats is like one of my favorite movies of all time,
The fuck?
and the soundtrack is like so good. Shake That Ass by Boss Mandilo. Because a little ratchet turn up song. Obviously Not Like Us by Kendrick.
Mhm.
When that song came out, I swear I played it like 5 times in a row. I was just like, whoa.
You and everybody else.
Right.
No, this song is really eating. Like,
It is.
and then last song, That Girl by Stevie Wonder. It's like on the same level of like the Bad Mama Jamma song. It's like a song where it's like, that girl, like, I don't know how to
Mhm.
describe it. Like, it just makes you feel
It girl.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like happy.
You got
And then, yeah, those are
real
my 5.
versatile.
Yeah.
Real versatile. You all over.
I don't have
Which
any
is good.
women in my thing, and I'm like, I was like thinking like what song I could add, but I'm like, maybe Get It
Yeah.
Sexy. But it's like I feel
Get
like
It
I hear that song more out than I like play it
Listen to it,
myself.
right.
Yeah.
So that can be like a throwaway like 6 song.
Yeah, that's why when I was making my list, I had to like think. I'm like, okay, what am I listening to? Because like a lot of songs, like yeah, you hear them a lot at the parties this summer, but I'm like, okay, am I going back home and actually playing these songs? And I'm not.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
it's a good turn up song, it's a good feel good
But
song,
that's
but
it.
I'm not listening to that.
Right.
So yeah, for my 5, I have "Love You Better." It's an old song, but I don't know. I rediscovered it on TikTok, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I went back and listened to it, and I'm like, "Oh, this is a vibe. This is a feel good song." So
Wait, sing it. Sing it.
we're not gonna do that today, but stay
Get a little
tuned. You
preview.
might get a karaoke session. But so I have that song as one. "Attitude" by Cash Cobain. I feel like that's just a good summer song. Like he just give like summer. Like I don't know how to describe it, but
Cash
vibes are
Cobain
just
has been on
summer,
a
like,
wave, yeah.
it's for the girls. It's so New York too, and I feel like we're in New York, so it just feels summer. Yeah, feels good. So I have that. Not Like Us, of course. I feel like I heard that song, like Nikki said. Yeah, I replayed it. Then they did the concert. I watched that, and I'm like, okay, like I had to play that the next week because it re-sparked. I'm like, okay, like yeah, this was that song. So have that, and then All to Myself / Love Bad Bitches by Future.
Oh,
Okay,
I love
Future.
that song.
I
Yeah.
actually like the whole album, but I tried to just pick a couple.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I like those songs. It just
No, I love that.
yeah.
Song.
Future's
Young
for,
Metro on that album is good too.
yeah,
For
that's
sure.
a good one. Future, yeah, that album, it's for the girl. So and then how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. The last song, "Don't Get It" by Lil Wayne.
I love
Get It.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I listened to that song. I think I maybe had heard that before. I actually was watching Last Chance U and I heard it on there, and I was like, okay,
Last
like,
Chance U.
yeah, I had to rewatch that show. 'Cause I was like, I don't have
Which
nothing.
yeah,
to watch.
Which
football.
album is that one on?
I don't really know album names. I think it's like
Okay.
Carter's 3 or
Okay. No, I
2.
was just asking because my favorite Carter album is the Carter 2.
Mhm.
Hot take. Well, I don't think it's a hot take, but Carter 2 is the best out of the series to
Right.
me.
See, I'm not good with album. Like, if I see the album cover, I'm like, okay, like
Yeah, that
I'll
makes
like
sense.
be able
That's
to,
it.
yeah.
Gotta be catchy.
So yeah, I think that's an old song, but I listened to it. I was like, okay, and then I got to the end. I was not prepared for what I heard. He kind of read Al Sharpton. I'm not sure if y'all have heard
Oh
the song, but
yeah.
like he read Al
Yeah.
Sharpton. I was like, okay, he about to give him his props for his activist work.
Nah.
No, he read this man. I'm like, yikes. So yeah, I like that song. It's good. So that's my top 5 summer songs I've been listening to.
Well, for me, I definitely have Lil Wayne in there, which is "Let It All Work Out."
Oh
By
yeah.
Lil Wayne. Y'all have Kendrick, but on mine I have J. Cole. So I have the Trey Truth and Ibiza
Okay.
from the Might Delete Later album. Literally all those songs for and I definitely like the diss that he did, but he did take it off the album.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I
that was
heard
one of the
that.
jammings for real on
Mhm.
that album. But that whole album for real, I kind of just listen
Mhm.
almost every day. So yeah. Also Art by Tyla. So put some girly
Oh
music in
yeah.
there.
Oh
Art.
yeah.
And I mean her whole album too, like
Yeah, that was
Jump.
a
I like a
good.
lot of songs from there. Um Also, Love Me Jeje by Tim's was one of my favorite songs to listen to this summer. Me and my sister, like, that's like our twin song.
Mhm.
And my nephew, like, he started to sing that song too. So it's like a nice little homey feeling song. So that was definitely like a jamming song. And for sure, I'm a Boston Celtics fan. So whenever they won, we played a lot of $1 Million Baby, especially for Jalen Brown.
Oh.
So I love Million Dollar Baby a lot of like this summer. So those have to be my top. So um those are all newer, I guess you could say newer
Mhm.
music. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually just listened to Tim's new album
Mhm.
last week, and I was like, okay, like where have I been? This
Exactly.
album
Tim is
slaps, like
definitely
from front to back, first song to last song. I'm like, oh
not
yeah,
front
this.
to back. But yeah, Tim's
But
Well,
definitely that
speaking of
girl.
a CD, but we don't got those no more. So.
yeah, I'll check her out.
No, it's actually really, really good.
I feel like I be in like a music bubble. Like I listen to like I have my curated playlist
Mhm.
and I listen to like the same 10 songs every day.
I'm like that too. Like sometimes I will shy away from like adding new music because sometimes like the music that we be hearing be like off the grid for real. And I'm like, what? But then again, like if it's catchy, people like it. So
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel
like
like a lot of songs, they're like one time, like, okay, like I'll hear it, I'll click on it and listen to it, but like, am I going back and replaying it? And
Yeah,
like,
no.
I'm not doing that to a lot of like new songs, at least.
Yeah, so I feel like the replay value for a lot of songs is just like not there.
But like okay, for instance, so like when y'all hear a song, like the first time you hear the song, like is it always like yay or nay? Because like for me, when first time I hear a song, I'm automatically gonna say no to it. So I have to listen to like 3-4 times before I actually say yes
I feel
to
like
it. Like in a
songs
song.
have to like grow on me. But I also feel like it's also like a part of like I don't know if you would say like marketing or like industry push, but like there are some songs that are like terrible, but you hear them so many times that
Mhm.
you start to like
Shout
them.
out to TikTok.
Yeah, for sure.
the
Sometimes
the
TikTok.
everything song "Sexy Red" and Drake.
Yeah.
When I first heard that song, I was like, "This song is
So
horrible."
Yeah.
But I hear it now, I'm like, "Babe, I love you." Like
Exactly,
now, I'm
you got
like, it's
legit
in
to
my
it.
head. Yes.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like for me, I have to at least get a couple of listens before I say yay or nay. Because I feel like I'll hear it and like, yeah, the beat may be catchy. Maybe I'm not listening to the words the first time I hear it because like the melody, I'm like, okay, I'm vibing. So I'm like, okay, like let me see what they talking about. So then I'll go back and I'm like, okay, like let's actually listen. Let's
Mhm.
see. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, if the song catch me off rip, oh, that's a banger.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
That's gonna be in the
not like
playlist. I'm adding
us.
to the
Like,
playlist.
the world, like literally, as soon as I heard, I see dead people.
Yeah.
This
Nah.
song is about to be tough.
I mean, Not Like
Yeah.
Us was definitely like a movement song. for
Yes,
real.
and the fact that he played that song so many times at the concert, and every time I was like,
It
I'm
was
rapping the
hype.
lyrics, and it's
Exactly.
hype. Like it's my first time hearing it, so like, yeah, that's definitely one of those ones. So
But yeah.
Yeah, great. So now that we've talked about our summer jams, let's talk about the event of the Summer Olympics. So,
Yes,
what's
Paris.
everyone's thoughts? I know the US had the most medals, but
Hmm.
let's kind of discuss that a little bit. I know China was second to us, so
No, they weren't second. They was tied with us with gold,
Yeah,
but they
with
were
gold. Yeah, we
second
were tied
second medal
total.
count,
Yeah,
right?
total
right.
medal count.
Yeah.
But
Which is kind of
even still, I don't know. The Olympics are like a funny time because it's like the most patriotic I'll ever be. Like
no
literally
cap.
USA, USA. Like
Yeah.
leave us alone.
Like you want to put on that little flag outfit
No,
when
Exactly.
you
for
watching it.
Go
real.
The
give me a
only
flag.
time.
And that'd be the time like you watch the weirdest sports ever, like at any time of the day. Like
Right.
I'm out here watching. I ain't rowing. I ain't watched
Right.
rowing a day in my life, but I'm out here watching them
Right. You'll be up at 6 o'clock watching sports, trying to catch a game.
exactly
Like when
for
we
sure.
ever did that. So
But like last year, so we got 126 this year in 2021 or yeah 2020 Olympics. I think the USA had 113. So I mean it's a push. It's a push, but we had like 39 gold in 2020 and China had 38. So now this year they tied with us. But I mean, also China was winning crazy sports.
right.
I mean, like the sports that, the US people, wouldn't be doing.
Badminton.
Badminton, table tennis. We don't have Forrest Gump on our team, so
Not Forrest Gump.
yeah, they out here winning those things. So
Right.
that was definitely a thing. But the U.S. has definitely done their thing in the Olympics, though, for sure, especially track team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think Olympics, like it brings light to the sports that we don't typically watch.
Mhm.
Like I guess rowing, like you said, the little archery,
Yeah,
shooting little challenge
with
that they had,
yeah,
like a lot of things I don't really watch normally. So I'm like, okay, like I don't really know these people, but they're like, oh well, they won last year, they won a year before. I'm like, okay, well not
mm,
last year, the year before, but last Olympics
Previous. Yeah.
medal. So, yeah, I don't know. It was a fun time,
yeah.
fun events there. So, yeah. So we also had the men and women's basketball go.
Main
So
events, basketball, track.
Yeah,
Let's just
track.
be real.
Yeah, this year Shakira was actually able to participate, compete this year because the last Olympics, she was disqualified for the drug test or whatever. But this year she was able to, take silver in
right,
the 100-meter dash. I think she did phenomenal. I'm glad that she took something.
Yeah.
So I think that was just it's a good thing that she was able to get a medal.
Because I
Getting
was gonna say,
Olympic
if you
medals.
really think about it, getting silver, bronze, whatever, gold obviously is the best. But
Hmm.
getting silver, like you were literally the second
Literally
fastest,
in the world.
like in the world, like world champions, as
right.
Noah would say. But no, there was like a weird thing how they did like with their warm ups, they weren't allowed to enter or like
Yeah,
something. I'm like,
heard about that.
maybe she got to warm up. Would it have been different? But I mean,
But
she got 4 years over time to like
Yeah,
improve her
she's
time.
24 now, so
Yeah.
and I
So
also
we'll
heard that
see.
she was maybe dealing with an injury, so I think maybe that has something to do with it as well. So
yeah.
Mhm.
It was like when I watched that race at the 100-meter, it was kind of like how like everyone comes out on that main stage to get their name announced. It's like when you seen Shakira come out, it's like you could see her kind of tense. Like it
she was
wasn't normal.
nervous.
Like you could see
Yeah.
her fists were clutched.
Yeah.
Like she didn't have any emotion on her face, but it was like, that's not Shakira.
Yeah.
Because when she ran in the 4x1, you could tell like
Yeah.
that
She was
was
there.
Shakira, right?
Right,
That was
right.
Shakira. But it was like maybe the thing about the entrance, like them being denied entrance because of the last minute rule change,
Right.
about them, being on the bus or having to enter on the bus. But she definitely was like not herself. I could like tell just like through the TV. So, but that 4x1 though, oh, she
Yeah,
turned
they
up.
ate
Right.
that.
She turned up. But congratulations to Julian Alfred for winning that first medal for St. Lucia.
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
girl power, black women power
Congratulations.
for
Yes.
Yeah, that's
and Melissa Jeffries too. Like she came in third. She got bronze. What I think at a 10-9, I believe.
Mhm.
So she's also someone that we should be looking out for because she's young as well. And then TT, which
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
she was fifth, I believe. So they're all up there, like
Yeah.
top 5 for real for USA for
Mhm.
women's for the 100. So
No,
yeah.
whenever I like see it, it's like it's so crazy. Like Usain Bolt's times for the
Mhm.
100 and 200 and FloJo, like, will those records ever be broken? Because it's like everyone seems so close, but so
Right.
far away
Exactly.
at the same
All those tenth of a
time.
seconds matter. Like you
Hmm.
Right.
wouldn't think that they matter, but they do.
Yeah, not for real.
They do.
No.
Especially matter in that 100-meter race with Noah Lyles and Jamaica's runner as well. So,
So many people are like, "Oh my god." The other guy, like his foot, but everyone's like, "No, it's like the
Mhm.
upper body is like what matters most,"
Yeah,
which
keep
I
saying, yeah.
was like, I
It
kind
was
of get it because if that's the case, you can just like leap like
right.
across, but
It was so close in real
in
in real
real
time because
time,
I
Yes.
honestly thought that he came in
I
second.
thought he came in
Exactly.
second
Watching that, I
too.
was
Even
like,
he thought so because he went up to
yeah,
the guy was like, "I
think
think
you
you
got
got
this, bro.
it."
Like,
Yeah,
and yeah, watching that, I was
it was so
like, I could
close.
not
Yeah,
tell. Like, and the announcer had already said it was just Jamaican, like it was
right.
Usain
Yeah.
or whatever that had won. So it was like, oh, and then they're like, wait a minute.
Let's look at the board.
Exactly. But then you also realize that in the beginning of the race, they held them up for at least a minute. Like that was the longest time from them coming out from the entrance
Mhm.
and then waiting. Like they waited for a good 30 seconds. Like shoot, I was nervous myself. Like
Right.
usually like when you come out,
Mhm.
you're about to get in the blocks. You're getting in the
Mhm.
blocks, set, go. No, they waited for a good 30 minutes. I don't know if that was like a tactic they did because
Mhm.
Noah he feeds off that energy too.
Right.
So maybe like they had
I don't think
let's
I
simmer
noticed
down.
that. That's a good point.
But yeah,
I don't think
they
I
they
noticed.
held it for like a long time before they actually ran. Like
Right.
it built a lot of suspense. But I mean, it was the greatest race of all time. I don't know if they were trying to get prime time views during that time. You know
Get some
how
commercials
entertainment,
in.
right? How the entertainment industry
Right.
is.
Bro,
So
so many commercials.
yeah,
That was. But I think Peacock they did a really good job with like I guess putting all the events in one place on Peacock.
hmm
Like
Hmm.
it was very accessible. So
yeah.
yeah, it's nice to see. And then as we're talking about Noah Lyles, let's just talk about like the recent comments about him just with the world champion comment, the like why am I going to Anthony Edwards event? He's not a champion. Like let's raise Tyreek Hill. Let's talk about
Oh,
Oh
I
yeah,
all
yeah.
did
of
see
He
that.
that.
He
yeah.
said Tyreek said he wants to do, did he say 60 or 50? He didn't want to do the full
Mhm.
100.
Honestly,
Wow.
I don't
He didn't want
Yeah,
to do
he
the
ain't
full
want to do
100.
the full 100.
He said that he was faking his COVID. He said that he faked his COVID, and that's why he wanted to race.
No,
But
that was interesting though, because it's like he came out afterwards, like, "Oh well, I have COVID," but I'm
mhm.
like, "You're hugging everyone, like
Yeah,
What
you
were the
literally don't have a
protocols?
I
mask."
Yeah,
Like,
what were even the protocols for? Like, I'm still really
well,
confused
I
how he was
seen
able
a
to run.
interview that he did. I think it was with Good Morning America, I believe. But he basically said that they made everyone aware of it and that they asked him were they comfortable with him like sitting on the podium, were they okay with him racing with them. So he wore
right.
a mask the entire time of warming up or whatever. He didn't take it off until racing. It's what he
But
said.
afterwards,
Exactly. He
he's
didn't
hugging
take it off.
everyone.
Exactly. And then I guess he put it back on and how y'all see how he after the race, like how he was
Hmm.
passed out over there.
The wheelchair had to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I guess like for him to get his medal for the podium, I guess like they
right,
asked him again, like, was it okay? Everybody was okay. So they say that everybody was in agreement of him being there, him racing,
right.
competing or whatever, and getting his medal. But they was like, yeah. So
That's just interesting, especially to run with COVID. Like that's like a rough.
I know
Like
he was.
he had it
winded.
bad.
I never had.
Yeah.
I never had COVID, but I remember the one time I had bronchitis. It literally felt like I was
That's
breathing
worse.
through a
Yeah,
coffee
it hurt.
straw. Like
Right.
Hurt your
I couldn't even walk like 10 feet without about to collapse. So the fact that he was able to run, what was it, like 19 something seconds? COVID, still win bronze. Like
yeah.
he still got a medal. It's
Yeah.
like, dang,
Yeah.
y'all was healthy.
Right.
Yeah. Y'all is literally like y'all
Y'all
are
lungs
healthy.
were,
for
y'all
sure.
lungs were
Condition.
good.
But like besides that, like I do like Noah Lyles, but
I
I
like
think
a shit
yeah,
talker.
I think that he just talked a little too much. I think like he just got too excited, especially like him saying this stuff like with his um his partner and telling her business. So it's like I like him, but it's like maybe he don't know when to simmer down.
Calming
Yeah, I
down.
think sometimes when people try to embrace like this villain role,
Mhm.
sometimes they lean too much into it, but then when the backlash happens, they're like, "Oh, well, I
Oh,
didn't mean that. Let me come out
yeah.
and
No, he was like,
apologize."
he was like, I want to address this rumor that I was like, wait,
It was
what
an
In a
rumor?
rumor, it was
We have
national
rumors here.
TV. National TV.
But no, I do like it. I feel like it's also a part of like the track like athlete. Like they're all, especially the 100, 200, those are like prime like events. I feel like they're always like more cocky like sprinters
For
like
Right.
sure.
in general, but like the world champion comment, I understand what he means in the grand scheme of things because you know, it is the
Yeah, they're
NBA.
Yeah.
The best
but this
players are in the NBA though, which is funny how he was made the world champion comment, but he was like, yeah, like I don't know who
these
Nikola
people are.
Jokic is.
Yeah.
So it's like I think he just wanted something to say.
Yeah.
And
Especially
I be like that sometimes too. I just want to say something. I'll take the backlash.
and that's where you got him at.
But I don't know, like with him not knowing, who did he say he didn't know? Anthony Edwards.
He didn't know Jokic, but he said about
Jokic.
Anthony
He didn't
Edwards,
wanna
he got
go.
like invited to an event. He was like, "Oh, he's not a world champion. Like, why are y'all?"
Let's just move on to the basketball teams because they dominated
Yeah, so
in the
let's
last game, but they was a little rocky getting to that point to win gold. So, because I mean, when they played Serbia against Jokic,
I was scared. I was watching, but I was
exactly.
like, "Are we about to lose?" And if
Exactly.
we lose, this is gonna be one of those things in history. You're gonna be like, "Okay, that was."
But they coming back.
It's like it's one thing that confuses me a little bit because it's like obviously the rest of the world has gotten better and we won gold regardless, so it doesn't
Right.
even matter.
Mhm.
But I think about how like people say that there's been so much evolution in like basketball. The players are so much better than they were back then. And it's like, if they're so much better than they were back then, and the rest of the world has gotten better,
Mhm.
obviously, shouldn't we be dominating them even more than we did back then? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if what I'm saying like makes sense, but it's like if they've evolved so much,
Right.
then it shouldn't be as close, I feel like still, even though obviously the world got better, but like it's something to think about.
No, that's a good.
I
Because
don't
they make
know.
it seem like the time between the 80s and 90s and like the 20s 2010s, it's like it's been like 100 years, but it's been less than like 40.
Mhm.
Okay, I'd say that I don't know about skill, but like it improving. I guess you could say like yeah, it has, but I think like the ability that you know, like comparison, like Larry Bird, like he was part of the USA team back in the day, like but he was 35. LeBron James, he's 39 this year, and he was in the US team. So I guess like yes, the skill may have improved, but I think it's just it depends on like the person's body too. Like if they're healthy, like they are of course are gonna be in the league longer or be able to play longer. So I would say like yes, the skill level may have increased, but I think it's more so like healthy bodies that is what it's what I guess is what's keeping the USA. I guess.
And I
Hmm.
would also say, like, to add on to that, just speaking about the gap, I think the gap with like international play has been like sped up exponentially. Like, yeah, like talent has grown, like skills have grown as well, but I just think like the talent internationally has like grown a lot in a quick amount of time.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
think that's why we have this kind of like, oh, like the world is somewhat catching up.
Right.
I mean, we're still better,
Yeah. Oh,
For
I
sure.
agree. Like, I don't really think,
but
in a sense, like catching up. Like, the international players are just, I guess,
I mean, the international players are
like I
coming to the
even
NBA.
more
Are
sought
coming to the
out.
NBA
Yeah.
anyway. So it's like, yes,
Mhm.
they're coming, they're playing with us, but then like when they play in Olympics, they're playing for their countries. But I mean, they're making their country teams better.
Right.
But I mean, ultimately, they're bringing their skill back to the USA. So it's like they're playing with these people, so they have a higher skill set. So when they go play with their their countries, they're bringing that higher skill set to them, which also one high rate one tide is going to
Right.
also raise the other tide. So yeah, I guess I can
What do you guys think about, was it Dennis Schroeder's comments about how European
IQ,
the IQ is higher? I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It's something about that like rubs me the wrong way when I hear. That's why I'm happy when Katie was like entertainment and IQ. Like
Yeah,
we
to
got
me,
the
it's kind of
goal.
like a
Mhm.
backhanded, like, like he's trying to be like, oh, like, yeah, we have both. And like, yeah, he's trying to like say, like, international play, like, yeah, like we play smart. But
Mhm.
the way he worded it, it does seem like, oh, like the NBA players in the US or like the US basketball, like, they don't have IQ or it's just entertainment. So it kind of gives you like
Mhm.
one or the other. So yeah, I didn't really like that either. And the
Well, if
Same.
fact
it was
that,
just entertainment, how are they still beating you? Like
oh, the tea. Yeah, I didn't really like that. And then the fact that he kind of like doubled down and kind of was like, oh, like that's weak. But it's like you said that. Like
Yeah,
you
he
Mhm.
got
like
mad at Katie's
yeah.
response. Yeah, I was confused by that.
Yeah, so that was
Speaking of KD and Anthony Edwards had
Yeah,
their
yes,
no,
little
they look
bond.
so
the
Their
cute.
romance that
bond,
we didn't know
yes.
that we needed.
It was like
I
little
loved
brother
it.
tagging along with big brother. Like it was always so cute to see,
No,
their interactions. Like especially
especially
that video.
right. It's like
Oh,
when
when
yo
he gets out
It's like
it was like when your big brother bring you to hang out with his
yeah,
friends.
your mama told you gotta take your little brother. That's exactly how he looked.
No, I love to see that because I think a lot of like older players now, like they're like, oh, they're too friendly, they're too
Mhm.
like buddy buddy. But I think that like shows perfectly, like, yeah, like I'm still gonna bust your ass on this
Yeah,
court, but like
I'ma
you
Yeah.
teach
still
you
my
something
I
too.
idol,
feel
you
like
Right.
it's
still.
fine in that context,
Mhm.
but in the context of like wanting to play with them on
Mhm.
the same team, I see why it's kind of weak.
So you're talking about like the super team, the teaming up of.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weak.
Wait, what's weak?
Super teaming.
Oh.
Like I feel like they can be friends, but like if I want to prove I'm the best, I want to beat you, not be on the
Be with
same
you.
team with you, if that makes sense.
No, that's a good point because I think after the Olympics, everyone's like, "Oh, like who's next to team up?" But like you said, like just people being on their individual teams and like dominating there. But
Hmm.
I don't really
Like
think it's to me. I
Tyrese
don't think
dominated.
it's weak to team
It
up,
is weak.
but
Yeah,
It is weak.
I
It
like
is
it.
weak.
yeah,
It's like
I
Avengers
personally
But
like
that's
it.
why I
Avengers
like how the
Unite.
direction that's why I like the direction of the NBA where it's
The
like
CBA,
teams
yeah.
can't afford to like do it like that. Like
Mhm.
I don't know, I feel like the model of where there's like one really good player, a fringe like all-star and good quality role players. Like
Mhm,
I like that method of team building. Like I feel like it's given more parity in the
mhm.
league. Um
But I also
yeah.
think we've just seen that the three superstar like just doesn't work for whatever reason. I think we had that example like Brooklyn. We had it in LA with like Russ coming there. We had it. Well, we have it with the Suns right now. I'm not saying it's not gonna work, but it's a little shaky right now. So I do think that along with like the CBA, and like those rules, like it's kind of gonna dismantle that for the better.
So that's what I mean. Like you can have quality team building because it's like big names look good on paper, but like how you said, like with Russ in LA, like even though it's like, damn, they got Russ, LeBron, and AD. Just look at those players and their skill sets, and it's
Hmm.
like this don't even make sense to
Yeah.
Yeah.
be on one team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of
So,
people look at the names on paper, especially like preseason. You're like, oh, like we got this person in a trade, but then
bro,
it's
they
like, how
had
does this skill even like match up?
Cause it's like some
Carmelo. Who did they have? They had Russ, AD, LeBron, Carmelo. They brought
Who
Dwight
else?
Howard. Like they had so many
Yeah.
corpses on
yeah.
that team, low key. But it was like 20 years ago. Like damn, that team, or not
Yeah,
even
when
20,
you
but
look
like
back
10
at the
years
names on
ago.
there, you're gonna be like, oh, like
Yeah.
dang, that team was
Hmm.
together. But then you're gonna look at the record, you're gonna be like, okay, I see why they did not work
Yeah.
out. Like, so
Just
yeah,
like Tyrese, like he's a big impact for the Pacers, or just like Jason Tatum, they're big impacts for their organizations,
right,
but for the actual team, they
right.
didn't get much playing time. So
Yeah,
it's just like
seniority rules
yes, for
too.
sure. Like those are the OGs. So of course you're gonna have, LeBron James,
Right.
Stephen, KD, and like you're gonna have the people that's dominating because they've reached that point in their lives of their careers. But then you have people like Jason and Tyrese who are.
Right.
So as a Celtics fan, how did it feel
Honestly,
not see your boy? And
Jalen,
they left
yeah.
Jalen Brown off bad and bushy.
Like as a Celtics fan, I mean, it really didn't do much. It didn't like affect me as much because I mean, like I feel like it's gonna fuel these two to win another championship, and I
Mhm.
mean that's what matters. Like an NBA title at the end of the season. I mean, the Olympics come around every 4 years, so Jason Tatum, he's probably gonna be on the team in 2028 anyway. So it's like,
See, I think for me, like, I'm not a Celtics fan, but like looking at the team, I'm like, okay, like I get that, LeBron, KD, Steph, they're the head honchos. Like, of
mhm.
course, like I didn't expect Jason Tatum to
Yeah,
start, but I
yeah,
also did not expect him
him
to
not
play
to
as
play
few minutes as he
exactly,
did. And I
exactly.
think,
Mhm.
yeah, and I think for me, like just looking at that, I'm like, okay, how does this affect 2028? Because they're
Yeah,
asking him, and he's like, he kind of not for sure,
but
and
he
I'm
probably
like,
But
was
it's like you're young right now. Like I
right,
understand the disappointment, but it's
mhm.
like in 2028, then you come back and be the best player, and then
Literally, he'll be
quiet
what, 31
everybody.
or
right,
Yeah, he'll
30?
still
Yeah,
be
30.
just
like
a
in his prime.
right,
Like you can right the wrongs of that. I mean, they won gold, which is what matters.
Right.
So
right,
I think that he was placed on the team because him and Drew represented the Celtics. Like and
oh,
Derek,
and
like
Derek White,
Derek,
yeah.
White.
but there would never be a time. There would never like Coach Kerr.
The
He
perfect
did it
role
because there would never be a
player.
time. I'm
But
gonna look
he
on the
was
bench.
Derek White was eating his role.
He
No, he was.
Yeah.
was,
It
but I
makes
would. But
sense.
as a coach, you gonna look at the bench and look past Jason Tatum to pick Derek White?
Who hitting over
No.
40% on their threes? That's what we need.
I mean, I guess, but it's still like, it's a super team as well. Like, but
yeah.
on the team together, they play well as well. So, I mean, I guess it's just like you really just gotta play with it for as a coach. But you're gonna
Right.
put the ones you played with the longest, the ones you've coached before on those positions, to be the honchos. So
Right. So that was exciting to see the Avengers unite and win. So looking forward to, I guess, 2028 LA. I think that's gonna
who we
definitely
think
be a good
make a super team right now?
So
Jason Tatum definitely.
I wrote down, I don't know. So I have Bam, Chet.
He's on mine. Who?
Chet Holmgren.
He not on mine.
Evan Mobley, Cavalier
Okay.
bias. We need another big body.
Okay.
He
Can come in,
could,
yeah.
he
If he
could-
develop out,
yeah, I was
then-
saying he could
yeah, he got 4 years.
grow up.
Right.
I have Devin Booker again, Ant, Jalen Brunson, Halliburton, John Morant,
Ooh.
maybe Donovan Mitchell,
Okay, I picked him.
Flip, Jason Tatum, Banchero.
Mhm.
I put Michael Bridges because I feel like he's like that Derek White
Yeah.
type
Right.
Yeah,
role
he'll
player.
need
Like,
you
he
in
can
those moments that you didn't think that he would be
3
able to pull
and
through.
D, and then I have Zion.
No,
Listen,
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong
I
with
have,
Zion.
I have him on my list as an alternate.
Alternate, yeah.
Yes, I have
Okay.
him like listed. I wasn't for sure. Like I was like, okay, like he could. Like that's a good name because I feel like if he get it together, like
he'll only
who's
be
gonna?
like
Yeah.
28. Like he'll still be young.
Young.
Yeah. I'm like, you can't really like that skill set. Like I'm taking that. If he's healthy, I'm taking him. So
Mhm.
yeah.
For me, I definitely put Tyrese up there again because he's young this year, so definitely can see him back up there. Anthony Edwards for sure can see him back up there. Jason Tatum, he has to be back up there because I need him to play. And I put Jaylen Brown on my 28. 28.
But I don't think he would want to.
See?
Maybe over the 4 years they can
exactly. They're gonna have to
convince
mend
him.
them bonds
See, I
so
was-
they can put him on there because he would be an intricate part to
But
the
he
team.
at Nike on
Yeah, I'm gonna
Twitter.
say,
He
yeah,
said, "This what y'all doing?" Like,
I was kind of
But
going
they-
back and forth with that one because he kind of did like a little
And
record a little bit.
so-
And he's kind of been vocal, so
Nike-
like it's Nike. So I don't
Nike
know.
did
I don't
whatever.
know.
We gonna see, but I put him up there as a just because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of JB, so of
Right.
course I'm gonna put him up there. He'd still be 30. He'd be 30 at that time, so
yes,
that's so good. I put Bam on my list for sure.
Yeah.
Bam's definitely going.
Yeah, Devin Booker. I put Anthony Davis still, even though he'd be a little bit older.
Anthony
I still put him-
Davis.
I put him up there. 'cause
See, I
he'll
have
be
him-
the oldest. He's gonna be the oldest one. But however, like LeBron, he was 39.
But AD don't have LeBron genetics.
Yes, but I feel like they're still gonna need somebody to lead their team. Like they're gonna need somebody that's at least 35
See,
on
that's
that team.
why-
Like they're not gonna have
Mhm.
the whole team of 31-year-olds, 30,
See,
27.
that's why I said they'll take KD.
Yeah, I could like even or KD. Like he was a
Yeah.
bruh,
It has to be
y'all are
somebody.
trolling.
It has to be one, at least one
Can we
person.
not see Diana Taurasi still on the
Exactly,
team?
and
Like,
she's 6
And
times.
everyone was like, "This girl."
but KD,
And she's still
I'm
playing.
not-
Exactly, KD
KD
could
in 4
definitely be one
years
of
still
I'm
those.
not
gonna be
saying
able to
he
get
can't.
you a bucket. Like
Yes,
he gonna get
I
you
would
a
say
bucket.
KD too, because he
Like,
would be that point of like LeBron.
He gonna get you a bucket.
And he said
bro.
in the interview, he said he's gonna play until them wheels fall off.
And then Will's not falling off.
Them
in
wheels
4
ain't falling
years.
off.
Not in 4 years. I'm like,
I
Yeah,
mean, we'll see how
Yeah.
these next 4 NBA seasons
Yeah.
go.
yeah. I think that depends on
I guess
So,
so. But yeah,
that's
that definitely gotta
your
be my
list?
team. Mhm.
Okay, so I have Anthony Edwards, of course, him and Booker, Bam coming back. I have Chet on my team.
Because we need some big bodies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have Paulo, Jalen Williams from the Thunder. I think he can be a good like one of those role player. Like we brought like Derek White. Like even though Jalen he can give you more offensively, but
Mhm.
I still think he can fit in a role. So I have him, KD, Jason Tatum. If he decides to come back, I have Derek Lively as well, another center. He's
Okay, yeah.
young.
I didn't think of him.
I feel like he's gonna definitely improve over these next 4 years. John Morant and then Tyrese as well.
I
So,
can't believe.
Tyrese,
I-
I'm not 100% like sold on, but I do think
Halliburton or
yeah.
okay.
But I do think like, oh well, he was on this team, he was on like the select team. So, but if not him, I would say Tyrese Maxey. I have him as my alternate. Too,
I feel
so.
like Halliburton is a good ball hand. That's why I also put Brunson too. But I feel
Mhm.
like he's a good, like selfless, like type of player that
Yeah.
can set up everybody really
Share that
good.
ball.
Yeah.
Mhm. For sure.
I think everyone has some pretty solid lists.
Yeah, it
It's gonna
sound
be
like
exciting to see.
yeah, we got some of the same folks, so
Yeah.
we definitely gonna see in 2028.
Right. And I know a lot of people they're high on like Cooper Flag as well, right?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
I definitely
that
put him.
was
I put
side,
him. I put
yeah.
him down. I'm like, dang, like he just
Yeah.
now
But
coming
he's
from
like
Duke.
17.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
he's
he's
gonna
being Duke.
damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
He's still only gonna be like 22.
Yeah.
he
He's
might be
really
the youngest,
young.
but he definitely was somebody on like a prospect I was definitely looking at
Right.
for like the 2018 for sure.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I feel like the way he kind of like dominated the practice that he was like
Mhm.
a part of,
Yeah.
like, that kind of got his name on the radar. People
Yeah, for
already
sure.
like putting that name out there. So
Mhm.
I feel like he has a campaign for the next like 4 years to build. And honestly, I feel like he in that pool. Like
Yeah.
he young. He ain't even went to college yet. But he's
Exactly.
definitely
That's
in
what's
that pool already.
crazy.
The college part.
Yeah.
he ain't even in college. Like,
But that's such a cool experience to have, though.
Mhm.
Like, you haven't even played at Duke, and you're like here practicing against like LeBron, Steph, like, and you going off too. Like, he ain't just out there. So
Yeah, speaking of college, I'm happy they got rid of we gotta have one college player on the Olympics men basketball
yeah.
team.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
so
yeah,
I
don't need to
get like
force
Not
why
it.
they
needed.
did it, but it's like I'm happy they got rid of that.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to force
Same
that.
thing with, like,
Yeah, not for real.
Because it's
like the
not like they're
women's team.
gonna like play like Tyrese. Like he's
Mhm.
in the NBA, he did play, so it's like bringing someone from college. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, they get a medal, but okay. So
We didn't talk much about women's basketball, but shout out to them for winning gold.
Yeah, shout out to
Bob
they're
Point.
eighth
Gold.
straight.
Yeah, they're
Like,
eighth
that's-
straight, so
that's
that means
big.
they
That's big,
dominating.
Yeah.
Gotta say too much about them. Asia Wilson, of course, Diana,
Mhm.
you know,
Go
AT.
women.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though Gabby Bout shocked us on that last shot, I'm
Yeah.
glad that her foot was on the line and she's returning to the Seattle Storm. So, I mean, like I said, like, you know, even though they start, you know, they're here, you know, they go play for another team, but their talent is ultimately coming from the U.S. But
Right.
so I think that was a good game between USA and France, even though we only won by a point.
Won, yeah.
We got
But
that
we
go.
won. We gotta go.
I mean,
Got
the
that
men's game was close too,
Mhm.
so I
Yeah.
was like 4 points or something
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
that. So maybe 2. I don't know. It was somewhere less than 5 though.
Right. So yeah. So we talked about what we listening to. We talked about the Olympics. So now let's talk about the NFL season as it's approaching.
Yeah.
So we have a few awards. Want to get everyone's thoughts on them. So first, we're going to start off with MVP. So for me, I have Patrick Mahomes.
My MVP is Jalen Hurts because he's my quarterback in my fantasy league. Yeah, I'm like draft. I want to say draft, but no, yeah, he's a quarterback I picked for my fantasy league, but the odds are not in favor of him. Like he's the last person to be, you know, actually thought about for MVP, but Like I asked around, and like my brother, like he thinks that Josh Allen's going to be the MVP. Now I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
The
but
Bills, how their season's gonna be interesting
Yeah.
because
a lot
it's
of them
like
gonna
it
have a lot of
seems like their
interesting.
window
Has closed.
is getting like they
Mhm.
traded Stephon Diggs, so it's like, or he walked, whatever. They don't got him,
Yeah.
so it's like
I think the window has closed for them, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, they had the past
he can
couple
still
years.
put up numbers,
Yeah, but they had like a good defense. They had like everything that a winning team
Team
needs,
would
and now
exactly
everyone like
gotta
left free
execute.
agency. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. What
Well,
do you
you
think about
know,
MVP?
we already know Joe Burrow.
Joe.
We can see.
Joe.
I have Joe Burrow and Bengals players' names down for a lot of awards,
Same.
but it's Bengals fan delusion.
Okay, so you got Joe
Fun.
Burrow.
Joe
Okay.
Barrow.
And I'll say a sleeper, maybe CJ Stroud. Like, we know it basically became like a quarterback award.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be
they
mad
could
at
be
that.
good, yeah.
He had a good season last year. So
Mhm.
comeback player
Yeah.
of the year.
Aaron Rodgers is the person that's most favorable, I think. Him.
Yeah, because the ACL.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
But yeah,
as
Joe Burrow,
well.
yeah, I think he's also
And
better
a
fit.
sleeper
I
could
have
be. Oh, go
Anthony.
ahead.
Oh,
Mhm.
sorry. I have Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
So,
Okay, yeah.
like he didn't really play much his rookie season, but I do feel like they have a lot of good like weapons, wide receivers, running back. Like I feel like they have some really good pieces there, and I feel like he can like have a really good season. So
Yeah.
I have him as my comeback player of the year.
And then another sleeper. It depends on when he comes back during the season, but maybe Nick Chubb coming back for the Browns.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
He tore his ACL, right? Or what did he?
Something in his knee
Knee,
that was
okay.
like bad, yeah. But like possibly.
No, that wouldn't be a bad one. So yeah. Then we have defensive player of the year. For mine, I have TJ Watt. I feel like last year was kind of a race between him and Miles Garrett, but
Mhm,
I
Miles
got him
Garrett.
this year. So
Mhm.
and I'm a Steelers fan, so I rock with
Boo.
him.
For me, I have Max Crosby from the Raiders. I think
Yeah.
he's third overall favorable
Mhm.
for defensive player. He's really good at like stopping the ball, so that's my player. So yeah.
Also Micah Parsons.
Oh yeah,
That's a good
he's
one.
a good choice.
Yeah. I feel like he's
Trey
always
Hendrickson. He probably won't win, but he plays for the Bengals.
Okay, I'm
Mhm.
like
His
who's
odds are
that?
low, but listen, we're on a redemption season this year.
Y'all about to sweep all the awards. They sweeping.
This is a super team.
So we have offensive player of the year. What do y'all think?
Jamar Chase, of course.
Jamar Chase.
But maybe I say maybe Tyreek Hill too.
I put
and
Tyreek Hill
I
for
have
Saquon.
sure.
Tyreek Hill, yeah.
Saquon
And
Barkley.
Tyreek Hill is definitely like one of the players that just shares the wealth, because like I know like there was a time where he like mentioned that Toa was like the quarterback,
Mhm.
like he should be paid, he should be getting paid, and then the next thing you know,
Right.
Toa signed a $212 million
And that
dollar
was even
contract.
before
So
people believed it, too. Like,
exactly,
people were like, "What is he saying?"
exactly. But I mean, them two as a duo, like I definitely think Tyreek Hill has a chance at winning, this award for sure.
Nice.
I think he's like, I think I don't know which favorable he is, but either third or fourth. But
I feel like he's gonna be in like top 5, like
Yeah.
mostly every year. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's just so dynamic. But yeah, and then we have rookie of the year. What are our thoughts? I have
offensive rookie or just in
just
general?
rookie of the
Just
year. Yeah.
rookie,
So I have Jaden Daniels from the Commanders. I think he's gonna have a okay season, a pretty good season. So I have him.
I think Marvin Harrison Jr. This is his.
That's-
We gonna see how he break out in here.
Yeah,
in
Yeah.
that's
this
gonna be
season.
interesting.
Yeah.
I go with the both of y'all. I think those are two good picks.
Mhm.
Mhm. All right,
That's
and
right.
then lastly, coach of the year.
I have
Maybe
two.
Zach Taylor
I have
for the
two.
Bengals.
Of
She go, the Bengals. So
No, I feel like because like, so last year we won 9 games. The year before we won 12 games,
Mhm.
and I think we won the division because Lamar got hurt. But either way, there's so much to improve from,
Mhm.
which is why we have so many opportunities to win these awards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who'd you put?
Or maybe Dan Campbell too, because he didn't win last year.
He's with Commanders. No, Dan Campbell. Oh,
The
Detroit.
yeah, the
Okay,
Lions.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all
No, that's a
say
good
what's
pick.
his face?
Am I right?
Stefanski, I think, won
Last year, yeah, for
Mhm.
coach of the year.
Browns.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I put the Chargers head coach Jim, and then the Texans head coach DeMarco Ryans. So I was like, oh, more so leaning more on the Texans head coach. Because of course, like I think he's like 5th overall, like favorable, but I think they have a shot. I think that he has a team that can execute, so I think that he has opportunity, but that's just a risky thing. So I picked 2 coaches, either the Chargers head coach or Texans head coach.
Yeah. And for me, I'm very high on the Texans, so I have their head coach. I think he should have won last year, but he didn't. I feel like he was kind of robbed, but yeah, so I'm going with him. I have
Y'all
him
say
as my
him,
winner.
but then you also have to think about it.
Actually, robbed is not a good word because the Browns, they were pretty good without Deshaun. So let me
Yeah, I
say
was gonna
robbed.
say
Yeah.
without Deshaun, they still won like 11 games.
Right.
So
Deshaun is still he's up for comeback player of the year too, right?
Oh,
So, yeah,
maybe even Deshaun too for that award.
Yeah, he is less favorable, but however,
No,
he's
he
still
could.
on there.
They have like
so,
Jerry Judy.
Yeah,
They
he
have
could.
some. They have some pretty
so
good.
yeah,
people
he
there.
might.
But fuck the Browns overall.
Who do you think is going to be in Super Bowl? What is it, 59? 59, 58? One of them. Who's going to be in the Super Bowl?
I would say for me, I'm going with the Chiefs and the Eagles.
I'm going with the Ravens and Eagles.
Ravens and Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
We already know I'm going to say the Bengals for the AFC. But it's a toss-up for the NFC because I feel like it could either, like, I don't know. It's, like, hard to do predictions low-key because it's, like, or I guess for the NFL because it's, like, any given Sunday.
Yeah.
But I'll go with San Francisco and the Bengals, a rematch.
Oh.
Of our... Yeah, I'll do a rematch.
I'll put that as my second. I'll put that as my second.
I'll do a rematch.
I could.
But it's like, I'm scared for the Bengals this year. I don't think y'all understand, bro.
Are you?
So scared.
It don't seem like you're scared. You seem like you need to be on the coaching
confident.
staff over there.
Listen, even when we were losing all of our games and we had Marvin Lewis, bro, you couldn't tell a Bengals fan we weren't about to make
no,
any
seriously,
noise.
yeah. Any Joe Burrow fans, like, they definitely hardcore from.
So I guess, I mean, we talked about who we thought would win. I mean, I think the Chiefs can three-peat, but
I don't think
honestly,
they
it sounds like
I
maybe
hope
y'all
not.
have.
I mean, they could, but this is what I say. I'll root for Patrick Mahomes any Sunday for him to win, except if he's going against Joe Burrow. End of story.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they have a chance. I feel like they have some really good like weapons. I feel like last year, like the wide receiver group was very shaky, but they still managed to pull out a win. And I'm like, this year they kind of revamped that. They have some young wide receivers. They have Xavier Worthy. He got drafted this year. I think he's gonna be a really good.
Yeah, I think he's also up for offensive rookie of the year too.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see.
I don't want them to three-peat. I
Honestly,
need somebody else.
either,
We need somebody else. Give us something else. Maybe the Bengals. Somebody different. Maybe the Lions. The Lions had a good season last year.
Yeah. If it's not the Bengals, then who else in the AFC? It can't be any other team from the AFC North.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. Like, I love Lamar. I'm a Steelers fan, but I love Lamar.
No.
Yeah,
so
I love me some.
I wouldn't.
You're a Steelers fan and you'll root for an in-division rival. Disgusting work.
Nikki.
Disgusting
I love Lamar. Damn.
Disgusting work.
Love him down. Say it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Disgusting
matter.
work. Disgusting.
So I honestly would not mind to see that. So
yeah. But first day of college football. So NFL is rolling on in. So
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting things coming
yeah,
up.
Yeah,
So
apparently Ohio State's schedule is easy this year.
I mean, with them moving the conferences and stuff, a lot of people.
So
Stuff is a little easier.
OSU.
UNC Chapel Hill, really
Boo.
the
No, I'm just
UNC
kidding.
Chapel Hill.
Yeah, I guess I'm rooting for the Tar Heels this year. So go green. So
So yeah, I think we talked about a lot today. Talked
Mhm.
about our summer jams,
For
talked about the
sure.
Olympics,
Mhm.
NFL preseason. So I'm excited to continue on, this journey, continue on the conversations. I know we'll
Mhm.
have a lot to talk about in the upcoming
Upcoming,
weeks,
yeah.
episodes. So
Yeah, y'all stay tuned because we're gonna have some exciting and some eventful things to give out for you guys. So make sure I stay connected because we're gonna always be, here and communicating. So
Right. So yeah. Thank
Sexy.
So thank you for tuning in to our first episode, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Bye, Cousin Charms.
Bye.